There. So, are you ready to take control of your money and build wealth on your own terms? Remember, your money, your rules. Whether you're aiming to achieve financial freedom, invest in real estate, start planning for retirement, the infinite banking concept could really be your missing link. There's a lot of misinformation about it out there, like it's too risky, it's too good to be true. Why haven't I heard about it before? Today's video, I do want to talk about debunking sort of five of the main major myths around infinite banking that are sort of out there and that need to be expunged. So, my name is Michael Hession. I'm an authorized practitioner of infinite banking concepts. My business is The Perfect Asset LLC, and let's dive right into it. So, the first one that I'll touch on is the idea that you have to be super wealthy to do this, and it's partly because there are stories of people having utilized infinite banking or whole life insurance back in the day who are very, very wealthy now. Ray Kroc, Walt Disney, people like that. And it's not true. You don't have to be a millionaire to make this work and to have the money to put this strategy to work. Most of my clients, they may, if you look at it as a monthly deposit, or it's not investment because it's not investment, but the amount of money they put to work with infinite banking might be on average maybe $1,000 to $1,500 a month if you spread it out over a year's time. So it's you have to have disposable income. There has to be some money to work. You have to have more coming in than what's going out. But many more people are able to do this than you might imagine. So really, what's stopping you from exploring this option? So myth number two is, I love this one, this whole life insurance is a bad investment. There's a lot of misinformation out there from the Dave Ramsey's of the world and Susie Ormans and whatnot, that life insurance is a bad investment. And in a way, they're right, because whole life insurance is not an investment. It's a separate and unique asset, distinct from things like 401ks and anything in the market, any other type of investment or asset, because it's not an investment. It does allow you to grow your money tax advantaged and access it for whatever you want to do. So it's not investment. However, it's the and asset, meaning that you can have whole life insurance and be practicing infinite banking and do these other things. Invest in real estate, invest in cryptocurrency. I've mentioned it before. I've got a number of cryptocurrency clients, and they'll use their whole life policies in certain cases to buy more crypto when there's a new buy signal comes along. So it's the and asset, and it's not investment. So when people say that, call them out on it. It's not an investment. It's a different animal altogether. The third myth I'll touch on is that it's too complicated. And it can seem like it's complicated only because the notion of being your own banker or operating like a bank for yourself is foreign to most people. It's just not something that most people have even considered, because that's what the banks do. The banks, they handle our money and they grow extraordinarily wealthy from doing that and have for a long time. And so that's where kind of the complication comes in sometimes. And it can get complex. There are people who have been utilizing infinite banking for years and years. And because of its that and capability that I mentioned before, where you can do infinite banking and do these other things, it can get pretty very savvy, I should say. Very savvy people utilize these policies for more advanced types of wealth strategies. But it doesn't have to be that complicated. In fact, at this basic level, these whole life insurance contracts are a savings and liquidity vehicle that a place you park your money, you run your money through these whole life insurance contracts with these companies that have been doing this for a very long time, in some cases over 150 years. And in fact, I think I shared this in a previous video. that the big banks have billions of dollars of cash inside whole life insurance contracts. You think, why would they do that? Because they know, they're not stupid. They know that it's a very safe and fruitful place to keep a lot of their money. They call it tier one capital, that these big banks like Bank of America, JP Morgan, Chase, Wells Fargo, et cetera, keep a lot of money in cash in whole life insurance contracts. Of course, they never tell you about that because they'd rather you not learn how this works and run your money through their banks, and then they get to benefit from. In other words, we are sort of what's the word, chattel for them in a way. If we keep doing what they want us to do and running our money through the banks, they get to utilize and they get to leverage us for what they're up to. And infinite banking is about stopping that as much as you can and moving away from that into something different that's much more beneficial for you and your business, your family. So the fourth myth that's often out there is that you can't access your money when you need it. It's true that when your money is sitting in a bank, it's readily available. There's no question, as long as things are going well. I just made a transfer inside my Santander bank account yesterday, fairly significant, and it happened right away. So that's pretty quick, no question about it. The cash inside your whole life insurance contract, it's a little bit slower than that, but I just took a loan out from one of my policies. I just did it online, and 2 days. It was for, I still think, $8,000 for something I needed. And it was there 2 days later in my bank account. So it's not as quick as a bank, moving money inside a bank account, but the benefits far outweigh the convenience of having your money sitting in a bank doing next to nothing and mostly serving for the benefit of the banks themselves. So the other thing too that keep in mind is that the cash inside your whole life insurance contracts are whatever's available in there is available to you to borrow against, no questions asked. Now you try getting money from a bank that's not yours, say whether it's getting a loan out, a line of credit, whatever the case may be, you have to prove to them that you're worthy of them bestowing upon you the money. Inside your whole life insurance contract, that's not the case. Whatever's in there is yours and available to you, no questions asked. So the number 5 myth is that there aren't tax benefits. And I'll run across this sometimes with certain tax advisors who are so focused on tax savings, which is important because you only want to pay the bare minimum of tax that you legally are obligated to pay is all that you should pay to the IRS and to the state. So that's important. It's not the only thing. And inside these life insurance contracts, the growth inside of it is all net taxes. It's not taxed when you set it up right. So the growth inside there is all tax advantaged, accessible, tax free, and it's this little understood that it's not a tax savings, it is a tax growth. So it can be combined with your tax saving strategies that your CPA and your tax advisors are doing. But if all you're doing, I had a conversation with someone recently, and they were really focused on just getting their taxes reduced as much as possible, which you want to do, but he had nothing in savings and liquidity. So there's nothing anywhere in his system, his financial system, growing for him. So he's basing it all on getting more revenue and having more sales, which is great too. You can do both. You can save on taxes and have this tax-free system growing for you inside these whole life insurance contracts. So those are like 5 of the main myths that I see out there about infinite banking. I'll touch on the other one too, and we'll call it 6, and that is, why have I never heard of this? Well, because if you haven't looked, it's really simple. It's like anything. What's that story about? If someone decides they want a certain kind of a vehicle or something, and it's new to them, and they start to shop for, let's say it's a green Hyundai or something, I don't know, whatever, a green Mercedes, something kind of specific, or Mercedes, a certain class, they'll, as they're thinking about it, they'll start to notice them as they're driving around. They'll go, oh, okay, there's one there, there's one there, there's one there. Until they started thinking about it, it wasn't a reality. So they didn't even notice it. It's kind of that way with infinite banking and these whole life contracts. If you're not looking and you're not asking the questions, or you don't know the right question to ask, you won't know anything about it. And certainly, like I said, the banks aren't going to tell you about it. Most financial professionals in the typical financial services space won't tell you about it, because they want to put your money into market related things and earn their fees. And when they do talk about life insurance, it's strictly from a protection standpoint and not about a wealth building standpoint. So that's the we'll call it the sixth myth of infinite banking. Why I have not heard about it is because you haven't been looking. So it's all about education. It's about understanding and getting a better idea of what's really available to you out there in all areas of life, but in particular in the wealth building space. So I'll end it there. Thank you, and until next time, we'll wish you well and have a great weekend, everybody.